Let's dive into all of this right now. All right, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show live. And I am your host for this show, the Dark Jedi, Aries Tarrington, your bartender, serving up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk, along with another all-star panel that's going to be serving it up with me. And let's go ahead and I haven't seen him in a few weeks, but let's give a big warm welcome to Mike from the Action Figure Cave. Mike, how's it going?
Pretty good. We got an all new display behind me. Looking awesome, right? Yeah,
That's awesome. That's a huge diorama, my friend.
Oh, man. It took me a little forever to set up.
So good to see you. Welcome.
I'm doing great. Yep.
Awesome.
Good to be back. Excellent to be back. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, we're going to have a fun one tonight. So great to have Mike from the Action Figure Cave back in the house. And Desi, running it back with you. So glad that you would be able to come on the show again, my friend.
No, as always, thank you, Aries, for having me on. Appreciate it. And it's going to be a great show, as it always is. Lots to talk about tonight.
Absolutely. We get to look at your stuff a little bit later tonight too. For those that missed it last week, some of the things. And then, of course, we got the man who's hot right now, going to have your 1-year anniversary next week. Man of Hot Collectibles, Dante, how are you?
What's up, everyone? Man of Hot Collectibles here, and I'm so happy to be here again, Aries. Thank you, Mike, Desi, everyone. Good evening.
Well, good evening, everybody, as well, and thank you for everybody that has joined in so far. See, we have Easy Company Collectibles in the house. What's going on, Easy? Good to see you. Looking forward to eventually with Easy's schedule, getting him on here on one of the Market Value Chart shows. Actually, I was communicating with Easy, and we'll eventually get a pre-recorded video out for everybody as well. But good to see everybody in the house over here. And hello to everybody, and really appreciate you joining for sure. But we're going to go ahead. We have a lot to get into. And we're going to start off. Is it possible that Hot Toys is going to give us original trilogy action figures, prequel action figures, legacy characters, not only in the future, but in the short term? And we're going to go ahead, this panel, and we are going to go ahead and take a look at several factors tonight that I think that indicate that, yes, they are going to continue to do that, even though there is an influx of so much with The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett coming out and all the Star Wars stuff on Disney+. There's certainly the foundation, just like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau throw in a lot of fan service with some legacy characters. You're certainly going to continue to see that happening with Hot Toys for sure. But let me go ahead and pull on the screen. And you can see right here, everybody, still number one. Now, I have this sorted out. Everything best-selling on Sideshow, Star Wars Hot Toys-wise. But the only thing that I mixed in was Sideshow action figures, not statues or anything else from Sideshow, just their action figures. And when you look at this is very, very telling, because it's still number one from the May 4th week is this General Grievous. And when you go ahead and scroll down, it's all Hot Toys, ladies and gentlemen. All Hot Toys. All Hot Toys. Just that Sideshow one up top. All Hot Toys until you get to Luke Skywalker, which we're going to get into him in a little bit with that look. And you continue to scroll down over here, and there's R2-D2, by the way. And then not too far behind that, there's C-3PO by Sideshow. We're going to get into a little bit of this. Is there certainly a desire for legacy characters, original trilogy characters? You betcha. But this is very, very telling with this General Grievous still number one. So even though Hot Toys hit a home run, Desi, and we're going to go to you first here on the panel, setting this up. Even though they hit a home run with Echo and all the Mandalorian releases that they did on May 4th, it was, five. They gave us 5 figures back on May 4th. It really was Sideshow that really captured the hearts and the souls of the Hot Toys collectors out there. I can tell you right now, besides this being number one, Desi, from everybody that I talked to and communicated with that's a Hot Toys collector, if they didn't have this Grievous figure, I'd like to say maybe 85 or 90% of them went ahead and pre-ordered this Grievous. So my question to you is, with this being so hot, is it possible that Hot Toys is looking at this and they're saying, okay, there's still obviously we can do very well putting out a legacy character. And even if they're not ready for Grievous, they might put Grievous out. Or they might put him out quickly. They might put him out in a couple years. But with a character such as Mace Windu, and the reason I'm going to you first, Desi, is because of all your experience with the art that you do and understanding a lot what goes into these things. They already have Jedi robes. They already have lightsabers. They already have the body for this. They basically have everything they need here with little expense, including the most important thing of all, they have this head sculpt. Now, they're going to need some tooling and some different things that they're going to have to do, but the tens of thousands of dollars that would go into going ahead and putting out a Mace Windu, and especially when you go ahead and take a look at what they've come out already. When you look at these characters, we already got the Anakins. We already got the Obi-Wans. We already got a Qui-Gon. We already got Darth Maul. We already got Count Dooku. We already got, Yoda. Really, the most logical choice next, as far as Jedi hierarchy go, I would think is Mace Windu. And wouldn't this be a way, Desi, to answer the General Grievous? What say you?
Absolutely. And I mentioned it in a few other streams last week. I don't get why they haven't done this. Again, there must be some kind of production capacity scheduling that must be holding them back. Maybe a licensing thing. Who knows? But this seems like such easy pickings, right? Especially if you've got a head. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Nick Fury, that's not the only time they've done Sam Jackson. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I could have sworn they maybe, was it a Spirit movie or something? I don't remember. Maybe I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. But and I'm just mentioning that because there might be a version of his head sculpt that doesn't have that eye patch. And even if there's not, even if this is the only one, removing that eye patch and maybe altering the tool a little bit may not be as difficult as creating a tool from scratch. Maybe they could do that. So other than that, maybe the mold for the lightsaber hilt, and then Jedi robes is just tailoring. Not that that's easy. Soft goods it's very complex, but you're not creating tools, right? They've already done that before. So this seems like easy pickings, really. I mean, again, either I don't know if there's some licensing issue or just scheduling, but
well, no, and absolutely. And again, when you go ahead and take a look at what's really number one when you sort these all out and pulling that back on the screen, certainly, as far as what can go ahead and go in front of General Grievous or go right next to that, would certainly, Mike, be Mace Windu. And I think that at the end of the day, if Hot Toys does go ahead, Mike, and they release their own General Grievous right now, and they may not care. They might go ahead and just release it while Sideshow has this out. They are going to have the price that they're going to have to compete with. Right now this is available for $285. I'm pretty sure for Hot Toys to do this right, it's going to be somewhere around $350 plus, probably $400. They probably got to keep it under $400. And but this might be a thing where they're working on engineering. They could come out with it tomorrow. But really, I think to answer this, I feel like that this broke the internet. And it's really essentially a re-release, even though it has different engineering. But I really think that Mace Windu would break the internet right now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, look at the aftermarket and all these prequel figures. I mean, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Commander Cody. I mean, they're all going for, crazy money. So it's definitely easy money for them. I know Mace would definitely be a hot seller, and I think, maybe maybe it's a Disney thing. Who knows? Like I said, maybe it's a licensing thing. Maybe, these are George Lucas characters. So, maybe Disney's holding. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing it out there because I'm not sure why they're not really pumping out these prequel figures like they were supposed to do. When they gave us a little bit of a display at one of the conventions. They showed all these Jedis and Padme. It didn't show Mace, but they showed us this, and we thought that we're going to see these prequel figures coming, and they kind of just stopped. So, I think Mace would be a great way to start the prequel, again, So, I just hope it's happens soon. It's not much more like I say. I want it to happen. So.
Yeah. And really, Dante, Thrawn brings up a good point here. Sam Jackson is a cool dude that is on board with everything. Shouldn't be an issue. I have seen some past clips with him talking about how cool it is to have his own action figure. I have heard some good things, about him being, easily being able to approve these type of things. What is your take on this? I really feel like, perhaps, Sideshow, won around with General Grievous, or Hot Toys could tip their cap and be like, okay, that's kind of selling all above all the other Hot Toys right now and all the other releases. But I really feel like with this Mace Windu, they can go ahead and answer this very quickly.
Yeah, I think it will be a wise move if they decide to go with Mace Windu, especially because, as you pointed out before, and Desi also described, that they already have pretty much everything they need. It's just a matter of putting it together, gather stuff together, and try to make this happen. And I really think it's possible. I really think it is a very strong possibility that this might be a next release. I don't know when, but it could be sooner rather than later. One thing Hot Toys have showed us for the past weeks and months is that they don't really care when to drop a really good figure. I mean, it happened with Ahsoka, it happened with Boba Fett. They don't specifically need a day to say this is what you're gonna get, and I do think that that's a possibility. I think it's gonna happen very soon. Hope so.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think that with everything that they have released thus far for Star Wars prequel wise, and even if you want to include Clone Wars wise, I really do think Desi, giving you the last word on this, that this could fit the bill for a lot of figures that fetch really enormously high secondary market prices, such as both Anakins. You have the one Anakin that is nearing the $700 tier range on the market value chart on 6scalecantina.com. You have the dark side Anakin that is like $4 away from reaching the $800 tier range. You have both Obi-Wans from Revenge of the Sith that are in the $500 tier range. And I think that deluxe one is absolutely going to hit that $600 tier range. You see what's happening with the Attack of the Clones Yoda. You see what's happening with Count Dooku. I mean, I think that they would do very well. I'd love a Kit Fisto, which they've already teased. Mm-hmm. I'd love a Plo Koon as well. I would love that Padme as well. And I would think an Emperor would be great, or a Senator Palpatine. But I think even before all of them, for me, they already have most of the pieces that they need for this again. And I think that, as far as how are these selling, you see that Qui-Gon is on Waitlist. And you see how he is now going up even further than I thought. That figure is hitting now the $325 range. And I thought it was going to be a slow burn up to $400. It's looking like it's possible that could actually be a quicker burn, a trajectory up to the $400 tier range. I thought it was going to take, possibly until next year. I think all day long, if they release this, Hot Toys can make a lot of money with this right now, especially if they look at the trends. What is the trend right now? The trend is the General Grievous is selling better than Echo. It's selling better than the Stormtrooper they put out. It's selling better than the Grogan. So you get the last word.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. I mean, that General Grievous, despite what the joints, and the paint apps, it's a sideshow figure, right? It's not a Hot Toys figure, but it has presence. And you look at it right next to Echo on that picture you brought up of the sideshow website. It's $285 next to $285. You've got this big thing for $285, or this thing that's much more. I mean, I guess has more quality for $285. I mean, that's why it's number one, right? And besides the history of the character, it's I understand, but if one character or one figure is going to take him out of the number one spot, I have to agree with you, Aries. It's got to be Mace Windu, and he is the next obvious choice from the prequels, right? I also double checked, and yeah, I was right. That's not the only Sam Jackson head sculpt from Hot Toys. They also use apparently that same head sculpt for the Spirit when they released Sam Jackson's character from that movie, and probably didn't do well. It wasn't a very popular movie, I guess, but it doesn't have the eye patch, so there you go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we've already hit 90 concurrent viewers, everybody. So before we go ahead and continue, just remember to please hit that like button. That really helps out the video and really helps out the 6-Scale Cantina channel here. So thank you so much for coming on in, and welcome everybody to this live edition of the Market Value Chart Show. But again, please hit that like button. I so appreciate it. And also, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So if you guys have been first time you're ever hearing about this channel, or the first time, checking us out, please go ahead and subscribe to us. We certainly appreciate the support for sure. But, that's going to go ahead and bring me to the next possibility, because what I really think, guys, and this is why I'm really pumped up about this. It has pumped up as last week, but really looking at this from a real business perspective and marketing perspective. Even when you go back to Sideshow and see everything that I have sorted out best-selling wise, Mike, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up that onto the screen, you could see that there's original trilogy figures do really, really well. And even the ones that Sideshow that Hot Toys does not offer right now, such as when you scroll down the Luke Skywalker, you have Boba Fett from The Empire Strikes Back. That is a figure that is in stock right now in the 40th anniversary packaging, limit 1 per customer. Okay. And when you go ahead and you scroll down, you see Qui-Gon was on a wait list. That was a legacy character, from prequels. Look at this Luke Skywalker from, Return of the Jedi. So that would tell you how well the Mandalorian version of Luke, and we're going to get into him in just a little bit. You see R2-D2, and I pointed out C-3PO. And I think, and even there's a Darth Vader right here. And this is what I want to get into, Mike. This Darth Vader from Sideshow sells very, very well. And when you scroll back up over here, you see the Darth Vader from the 40th anniversary packaging. I wonder if the image is up here. It's not, but it just hit waitlist just about, a few weeks ago. And, they always seem to have a Vader up. So you have to wonder, Mike, is it possible that, coming out with another original trilogy figure in the short term this year, such as, Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi, would be something that is very possible. And let me preface this by saying, when you look at this Vader from here, waitlist is already full on this.
Cool. Yeah.
And then when you go ahead and take a look at how Vader is selling within the secondary market, just real quickly here, you could see right off the bat that, this is just back from a little bit ago, $356, not including the taxes and everything else. And when you go ahead and pull up another one, here's a Vader ongoing on eBay. And this is the one that just hit waitlist. And it's already $330 with some time to go. That's certainly going to sell somewhere between $330 and $375. It's possible that now this is going to start inching up towards the $400 range. And, I've kind of projected that this figure at the end of the day would be a $400 to $450 tier range figure for sure. But, in light of that and Hot Toys seeing how these sell, Mike, I would think a no-brainer move would be for them to go ahead. They already have a lot of the things needed, including this in quarter scale, to just shrink this down and put this out in 1/6. And as far as them wondering if they're going to make money, they'll make a boatload off this.
I agree. Definitely. That's, obviously the Mandalorian's hot right now, but, the original trilogy always sells, and Darth Vader always sells. So, and like you said, the Sideshow figure, which is, not that great, compared to the Hot Toys Vaders. make a Return of Jedi Vader. It's gonna sell. So I don't. And again, another opportunity that Hot Toys, I could see them doing. You're right. If it's going to be another original trilogy figure, I see it being either like a Luke and Bespin or this Vader. But like I said, there's a new Hot Toys collector coming in to the hobby. They want to get an OT figure. There's not a lot available right now, right? I mean, you have the Jawa and the Gong Droid, which is not that great, and you have the Boba Fett that's hanging around.
That's what you have.
But that's all you got. You have a couple on pre-order. But so, yeah, I would definitely have the Vader up there as soon as possible. If I was Hot Toys, I would put it up very soon.
And Mike, you bring up a very good point about that, because there are a lot of collectors, whether they're getting out of one line or this line. And actually, it's funny. I was speaking to somebody earlier this week who sells a lot online. They were speaking about some people who sold their Black Series collection.
Yeah,
to be able to get into. You're seeing a lot of that lately with this. And who are the first couple of characters a lot of times you want with the collection, Mike? It is Boba Fett and Darth Vader.
Yep, absolutely. I agree. So it's always good to have a Vader up, for pre-order. And right now, Hot Toys doesn't have any because they sold out. So yeah. So I see it's a great opportunity. I hope it happens.
And Dante, what do you think about that? That is something that Hot Toys, hopefully, when they're going ahead and they're taking a look at projecting what it is that they're going to be able to generate profit off of or whatnot. I would think that this, when you have a lot of collectors coming in, not only from selling previous collections, but you do have a lot of looks right now at The Mandalorian, and the book of Boba Fett is coming out, and a lot of people, like Mike and I were just saying, two of the figures that they like to collect is Darth Vader and Boba Fett to start their collection.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Darth Vader, for sure. I mean, you can make any size of this, it will sell. I mean, this is a good example of it, right? That would be great to see a Vader in a 1/6 scale with that type of accessories, head sculpt, and everything. That would be really nice to have, for sure. It is very possible. I mean, like you always say, is it possible? I think it is very possible. We know that the Obi-Wan and series is coming next, so we're definitely gonna get a Vader. Now, it would be nice to have a Vader before then, because you don't want to wait that long to get another Vader figure, and that's very popular. I mean, people will definitely get it. I will definitely get it. So I really hope it happens soon, based off the figure that they already did for the 1/4 scale.
Yeah, no, I think it's and it's kind of funny. Tollbox said here, sold off by Black Series yesterday. I saw a couple of comments, and I actually did as well. I had a very, very extensive. I've talked to Mike, you about this offline. Very, very extensive Black Series collection that I went ahead and I'll explain someday as to why I really did, get out of that collection. There is a market perspective as to why I went ahead and did that. Yeah. And I'll go ahead and share that. I think I've teased that before, but I went ahead and did that too. You're seeing so many collectors actually, you go ahead and do that. And, going to you, Desi, this is another, great, figure for you to chime in on, because at the end of the day, from an artwork perspective, I don't know really what they would have to do sculpt wise on here as far as investing tens of thousands of dollars, or I don't know what the word is, 100,000 or 150,000. They have to go ahead and invest on a new head sculpt, but they already had the head sculpt done in the 1/4 scale version. So they have a lot of the mechanics or the mechanisms, and maybe it's possible too. I know from a recipe and development perspective, sometimes when you make something in a certain size, you go ahead for the future, and you may go ahead and craft something a little bit smaller there for the future, kind of put it on the shelf or some stuff like that. But really, with the Empire Strikes Back version, they have at least half the head sculpt done. So what do you think about this for them as far as return and investment perspective?
So what they've got done here is definitely the head sculpt. Obviously, that we're looking at it here, right? But this is a 1/4 scale, so they would have to scale that down clearly to 1/6 scale. But what that involves, I would think that they just scan it if it's not already a digital file, because I know Hot Toys does sculpt traditionally sometimes, so they might not have a digital file. But if they don't, they just scan it, scale it down, produce it, print it out, and then make the tool. But yeah, you're going to have to make the tool for this figure, assuming that there's little differences in the ESB armor or the Rogue One armor from that armor to this armor. If they capture those differences, then yeah, you're going to have to do tools for everything. And that's costly. There you're looking at thousands and thousands of dollars if they decide to go that route. Yeah, they don't have to do the head sculpt because you've already got it. All you have to do is scan, scale down, print. That's not that costly. But the rest of it, the tools, that's where the real money comes in. And yeah, they're going to have to do that.
And Mike, I'm going to give you the last word on this. Started off with you on this, and Connor brings up a very interesting point. It's obviously coming eventually. How soon? It's unsure. So, here's my perspective on this. I don't know what yours is, but you do have the Obi-Wan series forthcoming. And eventually that's going to come out. It's not coming out this year, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's coming out the end of the year after or whatnot. And sometimes it takes a couple of years for Hot Toys, depending, to go ahead and get a figure out. I would think that for this particular figure for Return of the Jedi, that now and this year, 2021, is the year to put this out and not have it compete with something with Hayden Christensen or perhaps something from that particular series as well, if they're going to put out the Return of the Jedi Darth Vader. What say you?
Well, I think, unfortunately, I think they're going to hopefully not wait until the 4th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. That's the kind of thing that I'm kind of thinking a little bit, because that's, they did the same thing when Empire Strikes Back. So that's what, 2022? I think my math's off a little bit right now, but I'm that's what I'm thinking. I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon. I hope I do, but I don't think so. I think they're going to wait until to the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary, and I could be wrong, and I'm hoping I'm wrong on this one, but I think that's when it's going to happen.
Well, let's go ahead, and Dante, we get to go to you, and look what I have for Dante at the man of hot collectibles. Is it possible, Dante, that they actually don't go that route with Darth Vader, or go a couple of routes? They give us the Return of the Jedi Darth Vader, like we're thinking they're going to do here. But they also go ahead and they give us this Darth Vader. Now, hear me out with this first, Dante, before we go into it. This is Darth Vader from Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
Now, one of the things I want to preface, and especially with Disney is going to look to generate excitement about the Hayden Christensen portrayed Darth Vader. He is signed to the Obi-Wan series and who knows what else with Lucasfilm and Disney Plus. And I want to preface by saying that they can go ahead and they can give us this. And much like they did with this figure, and you'll know where I'm going with this in a second if you don't know already, they gave us the dark suit Superman with the Nightmare Batman, which was an exclusive figure. And they put it in a 2-pack, and you can't get the dark suit Superman by itself. You can't get the Nightmare Batman by itself. The other thing that they have done, very, very interesting lately, is they've went ahead and they've given us this particular figure, where you can get the Boba Fett with the armor by himself, but you can't get the Boba Fett with the robes without the armor by itself. The only way you can get it is by purchasing this 2-pack. So, Dante, is it possible, because of the way, when you look at these, when you look at this figure, let me just go ahead and pull it up on the screen. This figure is approaching the $800s, $4 away from the $800 tier range. And it is selling all day long in the 800s for this particular figure. And you have to wonder, is it possible that they would go ahead and put this in a 2-pack like they just did with that Nightmare Batman, and go ahead and just take a Rogue One Darth Vader in a way, kind of rework it just a little bit, and go ahead and put this in a 2-pack with this Darth Vader right here? Because obviously a lot of people would pick up a Revenge of the Sith Darth Vader, and especially if it comes with that dark side Anakin. Could this be something that they can be looking at as a cash grab?
Of course. I mean, they already showed us, Hato showed us that they can do anything they want, and I think that that's a very possible too. I'm not sure if that will be with Anakin in like a dark side Anakin. I'm probably thinking more like I think Nate said it on one of his shows. Um, to have Darth Vader and maybe the half of Anakin in the mechanical or that table, right, when he was getting fixed to be Darth Vader or whatever. So that is possible. I mean, that is really possible. But I was thinking about this the other day, and you mentioned this previously as well. That what if they decided not to give us an Anakin but give us an Emperor for episode 3, like Vader and the Emperor together.
Mhm.
So that's a possibility as well, right? Just to kind of like
Yes.
mirror that last part of the episode 3, scene. It is possible, I think.
Yeah, and Desi, going to you on that, is it possible? We can go ahead and see, some of these 2-packs. The one like I'm talking about here, where you can give us a Revenge of the Sith, Darth Vader with that dark side Anakin, so they can go ahead and, because even when you come out with a 2-pack like that, let's say it's as much as the Nightmare Batman and the Dark Suit Superman is 500 and $30, whatever that price point is. I mean, it's going to be a lot cheaper than Dark Side Anakin right now, between $800 and $1,000.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities for 2-packs from any of these movies, but especially Revenge of the Sith. You're right, because you can do another Dark Side Anakin and Obi-Wan. You can do a Vader, the Vader from Revenge of the Sith and Palpatine, like Dante mentioned, right? You can do any of those, right? And what seems like it seems consistent, right, is that they always have a Vader and a Boba offering, right? Hot Toys specifically. Well, Waitlist is full, so now it's time for another Vader. Because it sells. That's why they have it. Besides a sideshow one, an actual Hot Toys one. And it would be good to have a Vader and an Obi-Wan announced soon, so that it comes out, it drops or releases when the Obi-Wan show comes out. That way, when the Obi-Wan show comes out, they can then announce whatever pertains to that show. But they have an actual Vader character and Obi-Wan releasing when that show comes out. I think that would help them. So, from any movie.
Yeah. And I totally agree. And then, Mike, going ahead and moving to you, I think Dante brings up a good point too about the Emperor, because I think the Emperor is going to be in that Obi-Wan series. I mean, it would make sense. You can have the Emperor in there, you can have Tarkin in there, you can have a lot of the baddies in there as well. But coming out with a 2-pack for, maybe they would pack the Emperor with Dark Side Anakin instead of Vader, and give us the return of the Jedi Vader. I really think, Mike, any way where Disney can say to Hot Toys, let's start pumping up Hayden Christensen, let's start pumping up that, we're coming out with the new Obi-Wan series, because at the end of the day, no matter what they come out with now, they're probably going to give us another figure anyway once the series is over or in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, both. Actually, the Vader 2-pack you mentioned before, that's classic Hot Toys. I feel like that's something they would definitely do. Re-releasing, getting a Vader from the Revenge of the Sith. Because we're not sure what he's gonna look like in the show, because it's like 2 years off. But re-releasing getting a Return of Jedi, a Return of Sith Vader, and then re-releasing Anakin, that would be a perfect selling point for them. It kind of on point what they do. They like repacking stuff and kind of manipulating things a little bit. And they watch the market, like you said, $800 for an Anakin, a single Anakin. People would definitely buy it. I mean, it'd be a great selling thing, and then even bring back another Palpatine, bring back a Dark Sidious type Emperor. Limited opportunities for them to make money, and hopefully it starts happening very soon. I think it will.
Well, real quick before we go to Dante with the last word on this, we've hit up to 100 already. Thank you so much for watching here and spending your Friday evening with me and this panel of great Hot Toys collectors here. Please go ahead and hit that like button. I really appreciate that. If you guys could go ahead and do that for the video, that so much helps out the video. So please go ahead and hit that like button, and please subscribe to 6 Scale Cantina. maybe you've never heard this before, heard of us, or first time watching, it'd be great if you subscribe, or you just haven't subscribed yet. Go ahead and hit it now for sure. But, going to you, Dante, for the last word, I think at the end of the day, you bring up a good point about Emperor Palpatine, and then also the dark side Anakin to kind of pump up the Obi-Wan series and the return of Hayden Christensen. And the other thing with Palpatine, too, for the Bad Batch and the Emperor, being in there can be a lot of reasons to do a 2-pack such as that and give us 2 legacy characters right off the bat, a reissue of the dark side Anakin, and give us a legacy character in a Palpatine instead of Return of the Jedi, but from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, and also I was just thinking about this. Maybe when the Obi-Wan series comes out, and maybe at one point Darth Vader is having those maybe flashbacks, or maybe not flashback, but more like conflict inside of him, and he can see himself as Anakin in front of him, like a type of a scene, like he's just looking at Anakin, like without the injuries, like Anakin like he was before turning to Darth Vader. And maybe that could be the 2-pack we were looking for. Maybe you can have Anakin, light side, and Darth Vader, and that's it. Because technically, if you have a dark side Anakin, it's basically Darth Vader at that moment, right? So it is a possibility as well that may happen in the series. I mean, at this point, we're just kind of speculating, we're just dreaming about it. But I think I would not only think that it could be possible, but I will not disregard it either. So I think either a 2-pack with Anakin, light version or light side version, or Palpatine. One of those 2.
Absolutely. Well, just like ADGBU says here, please go ahead and hit that like button. Let's smash it, everybody. Really do appreciate that. And we're going to go ahead. If you've missed last week's stream, because I had to take that down, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit. We're going to have some segments here where we're going to go to the next figure, the next possibility. Just hang in there. But I really want to go ahead and bring a little bit of attention here to Desi and the wonderful work that he does at Metamorphic Customs. So if you guys are looking at some custom display bases for your Hot Toys collection, let me tell you something about this guy right here. He does just absolutely incredible work. Like, go ahead and just take a look at what's up on the screen. This is the kind of work that Desi does. So you can take those bases that Hot Toys, packages in with the Hot Toys figures that we're discussing. And I mean, when I look at that right now, Desi, it really looks, it looks better than the fake grass you would get at the Home Depot or the Walmarts or whatever they wear. It looks real to me. So if you could talk us through real briefly on how you do this, how long this takes, and a little bit about these.
Thanks, Aries. I really appreciate the comments. Very kind words. And so what you're looking at is what I call base toppers, right? And this is what I actually started doing for my own bases, because I wanted something to change up the texture of the flat bases. A lot of the, I'm talking about the ones that had the Death Star floor or the grading. And it's like, I like those, but they're all the same. I like the consistency of the metal plaque. I don't want to get rid of that, and I don't want to modify the existing HT base, right? Because if you ever need to sell it, not that I'm planning to, but if you need to, a lot of people don't like modified figures, even if it's for the best, right? They want the original. So what could I do? Well, I created this topper that just sits on top of the base. So that means you can add some flair, a lot of flair, a little bit of flair, and then you could also interchange it as long as the base shape is the same, right? Because they have different base shapes. You can take it off whenever you want. It's not glued on. It just sits on top. That's it, And as far as the grass on this is one of my favorites. I have it on my Death Troopers and Krennic, right? So yeah, I did add color to the grass, not only to the ground and the rocks, but also to the grass, just so it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like fake grass you could get at Home Depot, right? It looks like real grass. That's what
fantastic. I mean, wow, look at that, guys. So let's look at some other ones. So, you can do this and people can obviously send these into you, right?
Yeah.
And then you can send it back to them looking like this.
Well, actually, they don't need to send, if they just want a base topper, they don't need to send me anything. They just need to say, hey, I want a base topper for this shape, for a rectangle shape base, this traditional base. And I say, okay. And it's just the top that goes on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talk me a little bit through. Let's go ahead and actually go to another one here. And I know we talked about this one last week, but this one's really cool, man. And you could put those
Yes.
arrows
Like
in the
that one.
base, and you got that display stand. And I mean, that looks simply awesome. Can you tell us real briefly about this?
Thank you. And this was for a client that wanted a base for his Hot Toys 300 figure, and he wanted it to look like the base of the Sideshow 300 premium format figure, the Leonidas, right? So this is complete from scratch, right? It's the entire base. It has a removable grabber pole there, and it has removable arrows, which he specifically requested. The arrows are made of metal. The stem is made of metal, so they last a little bit longer. And the longer ones were designed to go into receiving holes and receiving tubes within the base, so you can take them in and out. He specifically requested that. So it looks like they were firing at him and they've stuck into the ground. And then you've got some little ones, Drew, that looks like the arrows he broke off his shield if you saw the movie.
Yeah, and then real quickly here, that's awesome. And let's just go to this last one because this one's great too. And I think this one's for Ahsoka, but you used Rey because you didn't have that. So I mean, just look at this, everybody in the chat. I mean, if you're looking to in your DTOFs or in your custom displays, you're looking for display stand. He also does great backdrops in dioramas as well. But just look at that. I mean, all you got to do is just get in touch, with Desi. I have the link to his to Metamorphic Customs within the video description below. I also have it if you go to sixscalecantina.com in the resources and links tab, which I have pretty much everybody in the community out there. See, I'm a supporter. I support you all. You're pretty much all linked up in there, but you can get his link in there for sure. But talk us through this real quick.
Thanks. And yeah, this is definitely for Ahsoka. Obviously, I don't have her. I will. And that's made for Ahsoka and maybe for a Rex. And I've made it in different sizes. I've made it small where it fits, a portion of the inside of a DTOF. I made another one that fits the entire shelf of a DTOF, and I made one that was even larger, right? This one is a little larger. And it comes with the wooden stakes. It's got that sand texture. If you zoom in, you can really tell the texture. It's got debris. It's got the wooden stakes, so you can put your own clone trooper helmets or whatever helmet. And now I'm also making clone trooper helmets, so for future versions of that, I'll be able to offer that as an option.
Well, I'm putting up all these comments, and Dante, I'm just going to go to you real quick because you've actually reviewed one of his pieces of art on your channel. So as I'm flicking through some of these comments, just so Desi can see up here, just your impressions real quickly from reviewing it firsthand.
It is amazing. I mean, that's the first word that comes in my mind. I mean, the detail is fantastic. I mean, you'll see it in hand. Those pictures look nice. Wait until you see it in hand. It is a totally different animal. And the one that he did for me was the barrel where Thanos sits at the end of the Endgame movie, and it was it's really good, really, really, really good. Like paint application, detail, texture. You name it, just it's fantastic.
Thank you, Dante.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. And let's go ahead and actually, before we go on, looks like Lane has, let's put this up on the screen. So let's see here. Lane, thank you very much, Lane, for that support. Super chat here, $5. So I found it interesting the new artillery trooper was announced by Hot Toys to be only $220. Could this mean prices might stabilize at current for a bit? So let's see. Who wants to go ahead and tackle that one first? Dante, let's go to you. I'm going to put you on the spot, man.
Pull me on the spot. Put me on the spot. It is a good question. Well, yes and no. I'm just gonna put, yes, the world is slowly going back to normal. Slowly, I didn't say 100%, but slowly going back to normal. I think that the price for based on what we got for that figure, or what we'll get for that figure, I think is a decent price. But for a trooper, I think the most I will probably pay is like $205, maybe. It's not too much of a difference, but I don't know. It is really a good question. It all depends of what's going on with the world, with the supply and demand, right? Like what's going on with the materials that they need for the figure and things like that. But And remember, this price is
Yeah.
just is Sideshow's price. It's not Hot Toys price. That's a big difference.
That is a big difference.
Hong Kong has their price,
Yep.
retail price. So it's cheaper than this. Just keep that in mind. Don't think that that's the price for everywhere. No, that's here.
So, Mike, going to you with this, and I agree with what Dante said there. And I think at the end of the day, though, I think some trooper prices have been very reasonable. It doesn't depends on what they come with here. But I think at the end of the day, as far as settling down, unfortunately, in this economic climate that we're in, whether it's gas or eggs or ketchup or tires or electronics. Unfortunately, I hate to point it out here, but my perspective is that Hot Toys, not much they can do. I think at this point, what they're trying to do is stay afloat, and it's not just about everything that they have to do over there, adjusting to movies not coming out, and moving to TMS related figures over MMS related figures. There's huge issues, like Dante mentioned, with supply and demand, and with ingredients, and with materials that you need to be able to do to drive business and drive a profit margin. So I think at the end of the day, while these figures are going up a little bit, I don't really think it's from the bad or naughty perspective that maybe we may think it is. I think it's just part of what's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, to answer this question, I mean, it's a great question, but I don't think so. I think this figure here it's not costing them that much to do. I mean, it's like a repack, right, of the Incinerator Trooper. So I actually think it's kind of high, So the figures, the Echo figure is $260, right? So I think the prices are going up, and they keep going up, And unfortunately, that's just what's going to happen. They're probably going to, keep the prices going up, and then maybe make less, of the number they're out there. So unfortunately, that's just the price thing. That's what the days we're in right now. I mean, the days of figures being under 200 or over. Even 205, I think the Royal Guard was 205, right? If I'm correct. And that figure was just a straight figure. There wasn't much articulation in it, and just one weapon. That's it. So those days are over. I think the figure's going to keep going up, and then they'll make less, if they have to.
Well, Mike, and I think, we both used to, and I know you still do, but I think we saw the same thing with so many lines. You're seeing with the Black Series, aren't you? I mean, there was a time where you can normally get those figures, $18.99, $19.99. Aren't those days over?
Yeah, they little by little, they're increasing the figures, $21.99, $22.99, and exclusives are now $24.99. They're doing an exclusive thing where it's like Target, $24.99. It's same figure, same thing, but it's an exclusive, so it's $24.99. So it's the action figure market. It's just it is what it is right now.
Well, I'm going to Desi real quick on that question about the price of the Stormtrooper. I'm just putting combats up here so I don't lose it with these chats, but go ahead.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it's a sign. I think I agree with Michael. I don't think it's a sign that prices are stabilizing. Not now, not yet. I think this artillery trooper was just Hot Toys and Sideshow throwing us a bone and saying, here's an artillery trooper for $220. That's $8 less than the Incinerator, so don't complain, guys.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Well, listen, we got 102 concurrently watching right now. Please hit that like button. Please smash it, everybody. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And please subscribe to sixscalecantina.com as well. So very much appreciate your support. Maybe you've never seen Six Scale Cantina, any of our work yet. Really appreciate the subscription for sure. Combat Evolve with a $5 drop. Thank you so much for the support, brother. All right, let's go to Desi. Is it possible Clone Wars Obi-Wan and Hobo Obi-Wan 2-pack LOL? Connor.
Before that Boba 2-pack, I would have said no. They're not going to put two of the same figure like that. But now that we have that, yeah, it's possible for sure. And I was just saying earlier, it would be smart to announce something now so that it drops with the Obi-Wan show. So an Obi-Wan figure and a Darth Vader figure, even if it's not the versions that appear in that show. The point is it's an Obi-Wan figure and it's an Obi-Wan show. So it'd be smart. And yeah, it's possible. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's definitely possible.
Well, Mike, I think it is possible that they could go ahead and do that. They can throw in they can really do anything at this point with some of the moves that they have been making lately, to be quite honest with you. And not just with 2-packs. The fact that they dropped that Ahsoka Tano, the deluxe and non-deluxe from the Mandalorian, when you have the Clone Wars Ahsoka Tano that's up for pre-order. We were talking about for a while that maybe that wasn't going to happen because they don't want it to compete against themselves. They're like, they don't care. Go ahead, both Ahsokas. Let's go at it. Let's go. You two go fight. You get in the ring. Let's see who wins. So what say you on this?
So yeah, I definitely it's a great possibility. I think it is because obviously they had to show the Clone Wars version already, and I mean Obi-Wan show is 2 years away. I mean, a year and a half away. So like the guy said, it'd be great to have the main character of the new show, being shipped when the show starts instead of having it, just show and preview to us when the show starts. So that would, be a great way to kick the show off. And, it's definitely possible. And I can see it happening.
Mr. Dante, any thoughts on this from Combat Evolve?
Yeah, I agree with Daisy and Mike. I mean, anything is possible at this point. They can just do it. But also, they probably can do they can reissue a Obi-Wan, but also, as I said before, it is an Obi-Wan series. So there's gonna be flashbacks. There's gonna be something that, when he remembers Anakin at one point, maybe when he was with Qui-Gon at one point. So we can have actually the younger version of Obi-Wan as well. Not necessarily the whole version, or maybe we can have a younger and an older version or something like that. I mean, they did with Boba Fett already. They do it with other figures, so absolutely, I think it is very possible.
Got 107 in concurrently watching. Please go ahead and hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching us tonight here. Go ahead and smash that. And Israel, you kind of hit my heart here. Here you go. I'm going to read this. Now you're getting me more fired up, baby. Is it possible? Is it possible we will get the reissue of Bespin Luke soon? Keep up the great work, guys. Love the content. Is it possible? So listen, I'm going to answer this first. Is it possible that we'll get a reissue, or that we're going to get that version of Bespin Luke to come out soon? And I say yes. Actually, I really do. I know we've gone back and forth on this before, Desi. If you watched a lot of my content, okay, well, they're not going to go ahead and compete with the Snowspeeder pilot Luke by putting out the Bespin Luke. Or they're not going to go ahead and compete with the forthcoming Mandalorian version of Luke Skywalker. Certainly, they're going to go ahead and do that because that's money all day long. But does that really mean that Hot Toys that won't release the Bespin Luke? I actually think that is very possible because they've got the prototype done and they've showed it twice, that they can just drop that out of nowhere, Desi. I do think they can do that, and even this year.
Agreed. This is one that they can drop at any point. They literally have everything. They've got the head sculpt. They've got the clothes from before. They're probably not going to change anything, right? That was a DX07. Mm-hmm. So they've got the clothes. They could just re-release it. Will they? I mean, again, another very, very easy pickings. If we're saying easy pickings, this is definitely one where they have everything.
Well, and that's important, Desi, right? From an investment perspective, because it's not just about, right, from with the work that you do and understanding the work that they do. It's not just about putting out a figure because people are going to be interested in it and buy it. It's how much of an investment is this to get all this stuff together that they got to put into it, and how's it going to sell? And look, I know what I understand some of the data right now that the Snowspeeder pilot Luke is down, and I understand that Lando Calrissian is down. But you know what? And I'll share it in a little bit. You know where Rey is right now? You know where Kylo Ren from The Rise of Skywalker is right now? You got Kylo Ren ahead of Rex. Mm-hmm. You got Rey all the way up there ahead of Boba Fett right now. Where do you think Luke's Snowspeeder pilot and Lando Calrissian are going to be when they're going to be up, Mike? That's exactly right. So you know what? Go ahead, Mike, and speak on that, because I think at the end of the day, Bespin Luke, I'll go ahead and pre-order it day one just so they can do it, even though I don't pre-order unless that there's perhaps a formula where it's not going to get in stock. But I'd be pumped up, baby. I'd do an impromptu stream for that one.
Yeah, I mean, this could happen happen a day, really. Seriously, they have everything there. They had the figures to go with it. We have Boba Fett, we have Darth Vader, we have Bespin Layer, and then this would help the sales of Lando. So yeah, I can see it happening anytime. It could be dropped this Tuesday, really. Think about it. So and day one for me, I love Skywalker, so definitely love to have that figure. I don't have the first one that came out. That one's going for crazy prices on the secondary market. So people just waiting. They're waiting for that figure to come. So yeah, I can see it happening very soon.
Absolutely. And Dante, going to you. And before we do, we got 108 currently watching right now. Please hit that like button, everybody. I do appreciate that. Please go ahead and like the stream and like the video. That helps out so much. But Dante, you have to wonder, is it possible they would push this out? And the other thing is how much investment they got to put in. And we were just talking on Desi's points that they have a lot of this stuff already done. And quite frankly, in this COVID-19, environment, and we're starting to break out of it, and where there's been, a little bit of lack, they need to generate some pre-orders. And, it doesn't matter if they have 30 pre-orders up there, or maybe 40 pre-orders up there, or maybe even more than that. I think they got to go ahead and generate some of this stuff out there. So I think that this is actually possible, and something that they, for the most part, have almost done.
Yes, yes. It is very possible that they can announce this version of Luke. The question is when. Everyone waiting. I mean, they teased it a couple times, and it is definitely something that is on the works. I believe it is very possible because it's a Luke Skywalker figure. So I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen too. Thank you so much, Israel, and everybody, in the chat, putting this stuff up. And that's going to go ahead and bring me to the next figure I want to go ahead and speak to. Because we're talking about a lot of figures that is very possible that could come out in the short term. And the short term meaning this year and possibly even over the summer and whatnot. But pulling this up on the screen. And I'm going to go ahead and go to you, Mike, with this first. You've got this Mandalorian from Season 2 tease with Grogu on this bike, on this swoop bike. And it's basically, to me, it looks like the same Mandalorian, that the Beskar Mandalorian right now, which there are quite a lot of these that are out there on the market right now for this. And you already had the OG Mando beforehand as well. And for me personally, I have the OG Mando. I have the Beskar Deluxe version of Mando. And only if I'm interested in the bike, which almost you wish that they would sell the bike separately. So I don't have to go ahead and buy another Mandalorian figure and spend this kind of money. And the way that you look right now when you look at this, which is very, very interesting to me, is when you go ahead and sort this out, best-selling wise, on Sideshow for this swoop bike, for the blurg is what I'm going to put out. Excuse me. It didn't bang it didn't do the job like the deluxe Boba Fett did from the Mandalorian, Mike. It didn't do the job like the Nightmare Batman and the Dark Suit Superman did. And and there's so many Beskar Mandalorians. My point with this is I almost feel like for this to be a home run, they absolutely need to give us this with it. Do you think that even though they haven't put that out yet, that if then they go ahead and officially announce this is going to come with this Pedro Pascal head sculpt?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Because I'll buy it if they do.
Yeah. Yeah, if they're gonna, if they're gonna sell the bike and not separate, they don't sell it separate. They're gonna have to do something with the Mandalorian figure, and they're gonna have to have a head sculpt because like I said, there's so many Mandos out there. I kind of don't want to see another one, even though he comes with a Corvette. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, seriously, no, I'm just joking. But seriously, I think they would have to do it. I really think if they want to, sell this, you got to have the head scope in there, and then maybe they won't sell the figure separate with the head scope. Maybe that just be the only way you get this head scope is with the swooper bike. So, swoop bike. So yeah, I think it's possible they will do a head scope. Otherwise, I don't see it selling really well if they don't. That's my take on it. Just really, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree. And Desi, going to you. I mean, and the Pennis one here, I agree with him as well. It's like Mike was saying, I won't buy a second season 2 Mando without a head sculpt. Yeah. I don't need another Beskar Mando for just a thigh plate and a spear. And I think you can see right now with how the Blurg and Mandalorian is selling up in there. I really feel like they got to give us the head sculpt with this. Jesse, your mic is off, or can you guys hear him?
Nope, sorry, that was me. I was saying, I mentioned before, I think there might be a licensing thing, or I don't know if it's a scheduling thing, because why haven't they really at least shown the head sculpt and released them? It's been a while already. And I agree with most people here. I don't think it's worth buying just a Beskar Mando, unless the first Beskar Mando is still in stock, right? So why release another one right now? That's not even competition against yourself. It's almost the same thing if you don't have a head sculpt or at least a swoop bike to go with it, right? So maybe the head sculpt is missing because there's a licensing thing. It's very weird. I would bet it's some kind of licensing issue that they still need to get some approval.
Yeah, and Dante, I mean, I don't know if it is very possible. Desi brings up a good point. Maybe it is a licensing issue with Pedro Pascal, or maybe besides that, maybe it's just that, they wanted to try and move as many of these Beskar Mandos as they could. And now they got the OG Mando that they re-released, and they're just waiting. But, it looks like that they're trying to tease. This is the second time already during the May 4th week that, okay, here's a Season 2 Mando with another Grogu and a bike. But it's like, okay, I already have a Mando, and I have a few Grogus already. Can you give me the bike separate, or could you at least give me the head sculpt? Because I could almost see them doing that with the head sculpt, Dante, because isn't that the same thing they did with the Boba Fett 2-pack? Because you can't get Boba Fett without the armor unless you get that 2-pack.
Yes, and also I'm going to share something with you guys. So it is possible that we're going to see a Mandalorian figure very soon, like very, very soon. And more specifically, a Mando figure, right?
Now, is that your feeling, like my feeling, or do you got some insider information there?
Some inside information.
Waiting for confirmation. On my show. Here you go.
Waiting for confirmation. So just take it with a grain of salt. It could be the one with the swoop bike, or it could be the one that I've heard before, a one with the head sculpt, with the Pedro Pascal's head sculpt, and that I heard a lot. Like really, I really heard that. From one of my sources, but again, Hot Toys will have the last word on this one. But I mean, I don't see why not, to be honest with you. Even if they don't do it like next week, it's just a matter of time they're gonna do it. I mean, the pressure is there. I mean, a lot of people want to have the Mandalorian figure with Pedro Pascal's head sculpt, so that's gonna happen at one point. But a Mandalorian figure is coming, that's for sure.
Well, and we're going to go ahead and stick with Dante here before we go to the next figure. And Dante, real quick, tell us a little bit about what's going to go on next week. Because, one of the things that we're doing here, folks, is you're going to see the market value chart show on Friday nights during the summer at 9 p.m. Eastern. So you're seeing me here this week. However, the next week, you're going to see the Man of Hot Collectibles at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then the week after that, you're going to see the market value chart show at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then the Man of Hot Collectibles, and then me, and then him. We're going to tag team this on Friday nights through the summer, and then eventually I will be back on Saturday nights for sure. But go ahead, and I'm going to share this on the screen, and go ahead and tell us what is going on next week on your show when it's your turn here, Dante, for the Man of Hot Collectibles next week.
All right, so first we're going to start with the 1-year live stream celebration, which Desi, Aries are confirmed. I need to talk to Michael and see if he's available for next Friday. If he can, that will be perfect. I'm looking to have a big panel that Friday so we can have a bunch of people. Sergio from Jedi Toys is already confirmed. Fabio from Fast Figures already confirmed. I'm working with Denovi and see if I can have him back for that stream.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. So you're gonna see a lot of people talking about what we love the most. So that will be for the 1 year celebration, 1 year anniversary, which we're gonna talk about everything. So it just won't be like me with balloons and a cake. We're gonna talk about everything, right? And I have a bunch of news, like a bunch of news. So if you think Hatos hasn't released stuff yet, just buckle up because you're gonna see a bunch of stuff coming. But that will be on the show.
Let's keep it you then. Should we buckle up for the man, the myth, the legend, the man that I got on the screen over here? Look, come on. I mean, they gave us the Ahsoka from, episode 5 of The Mandalorian season 2. They gave us the Boba Fett from, episode 6 of season 2. Can we please get Luke Skywalker here? Are we going to get this figure? I have to believe they have to know that this would knock everything off wherever it is, best-selling wise. So what do you think about this?
I think we have more chances of seeing this Luke Skywalker than the Bespin Luke. For now. Not saying that ever. For now. I think they have more chances to do one like this. And because this was supposed to be a May 4th release.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
I thought it was coming.
I thought it was coming. And all my sources were pointing to that direction. Whether there was a last minute change, like they decided not to do it at that time, just to maybe give some of the spotlight to Sideshow for the General Grievous, or they went at the right time, the right moment to announce this baby. But I think this one is it probably will be first before Bespin Luke.
Desi, what do you think about this? Are we going to get the Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian season 2, or are they just, or did they tease that with the Dark Troopers just to try and get Dark Troopers to be number 1 for 1 week, and now it's all the way down as a bottom feeder? But what say you?
That would have been a good tactic, but no, I think we're gonna get this. This was like everybody is saying, this was a shoo-in for May 4th. I was shocked. If you asked me to put money on something and bet, which figure was going to be released, I'd say this one. So I was pretty surprised. Who knows? When anything like this happens, I don't know, like that, where everybody thought this was an obvious point, and then it all of a sudden gets pushed back or pulled out, or so it doesn't come through. I always say something happened with licensing, something happened with approvals, because I've been there before. It might be something else, but that's what I'm hearing. So hopefully, it does come out soon, though. I need one.
Michael, you see him chopping up the Dark Trooper here.
Yeah,
come on, this made my year when this happened.
Yeah,
how long we got to wait for this?
He's coming. I mean, like everybody else, I thought he was coming May 4th, right? He was in my prediction, but he didn't come. There's got to be a reason why, and I don't know why, but he's coming. Hopefully, he'll take over General Grievous for that top spot. That you keep showing there. He'd definitely overtake Grievous for the top selling figure. So I don't know why it's not here yet, but it's coming sooner than later. Before the end of the year, let's say that. Let's say it's definitely going to be here by the end of 2021. It would make no sense if they don't. Unless there's a licensing issue or whatever it is, it's got to come. So, come on, Hot Toys.
Yeah, come on, Hot Toys. Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
And listen, we got 101 watching, and we're getting over 100, 110 here. Please go ahead and hit that like button, everybody. Like the video, and also subscribe to all these guys. I got all these guys' links within the video description below. And also, I've got the link to Metamorphic Customs, which you've seen before, in there as well. So go ahead and do that. But please go ahead and like the video, and please subscribe to 6 Scale Cantina for sure. And let's see. Let us go to Mike. You get an Is It Possible? Look, where Hot Toys look. I think we've given a lot of people some hope here. There certainly is focus on the original trilogy figures. They're going to come out with some of these. They're seeing what's happening with General Grievous. They're going to come out with legacy figures, like we talked about the aforementioned Mace Windu, or this or that. They're also going to be coming out with a lot of these figures for sure that because Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are going to continue to put in characters that we want to see, such as the Ahsokas the Ahsoka that came in to the Mandalorian, right? Or Boba Fett that came into the Mandalorian, or Bo-Katan that came into the Mandalorian. Do we not think that, during the book of Boba Fett, we're not going to see Bosk? We're not going to see Dengar?
Mhm.
We're not going to see IG-88? We're not going to see this? We're not going to see that? I mean, I think we're going to continue to get that. And I think that for, the foreseeable future, you're going to continue, as they continue, Disney Plus and Filoni and Favreau feed us a lot of the fan service and the foundation of Star Wars. We're going to continue to get those figures, but they're also going to continue to give us just a regular from original trilogy and from the prequels as well. But pulling this up on the screen, and let me go ahead and bring this back for you here to pull this up. I really think here, we've talked a lot, we're sticking with the Mandalorian and what's coming. And I like to pull this up on the screen because when you go ahead and take a look at this, folks, and Mike, to me, with everything that they have come out with to this point, with these scenes of Grogu with Ahsoka, that they go ahead and they just dropped on us while the Clone Wars Ahsoka is up on pre-order, mind you, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And they went ahead and gave us a 2-pack that still boggles the mind that you can't get the Tamora Morrison figure, the Boba Fett without the armor, by itself. This has money written all over it as far as this making noise on the internet, making noise in the fandom. And I don't think that they have to wait for the book of Boba Fett to put this out. They don't have to wait for anything. I really don't see it. I can see them going ahead and actually dropping a 2-pack with this very, very quickly. And I don't know if you wouldn't be able to get one or the other by itself, or maybe one by itself or not. And they can go ahead, and when the book of Boba Fett comes out, they can give you Bosk. They can give you IG-88. They can give you this one. They can give you that one. They can give you this. They can give you that. Shoot, if the Mandalorian's in there, they can give you the Mandalorian from the book of Boba Fett. You don't have to wait for these two. What say you?
Man, you're really pushing this Fennec figure, man. No, seriously. I mean, definitely, yeah, I agree. You don't have to wait until day one of the show like you did with the Bad Batch. That was understandable because, but yeah, definitely you could put this out right now and it's going to sell. I mean, this Boba Fett is probably the most, the preferable one out of the two, out of all three of them, actually, out of the ones they have released now. So, yeah, definitely, that we need a little bit of a little, I can't come up with the word right now, but we need a little more, some energy with these releases. The last few have been a little bit, General Grievous has been the biggest surprise, and that's Sideshow, right? And that's a figure that was done 4 years ago. So we definitely need something like that, to wake things up a little bit. And I can see it happening, and I think they should do it now. They shouldn't have to wait until day one because it's going to sell, And if they're going to put Fennec in there, I think that's a great idea. I mean, doing her separate, I think would be a little bit risky on their point, but putting Fennec in there with Boba Fett would be a great idea, and do it now so the figure ships when the show is going on. So yeah, I can see it happening.
Yeah, and Desi, going to you with that, I mean, people have to understand that just like Hot Toys doesn't just get a license from Disney for the rights to do this. And Disney's like, yeah, go ahead and give us a percentage. They use this for their own marketing. They use this for their own marketing for upcoming shows and movies. And certainly they know that with Hot Toys and these prices, and some of us are really huge diehard fans, and they need that diehard fan base to make sure that they tune in and establish a foundation base for these ratings and for these shows. I can absolutely see them dropping this Boba Fett with the clean armor and Fennec as a 2-pack all day long because the hype is going to continue to mount, and they're going to want that hype without the Mandalorian coming out for sure way before December. What say you?
Agreed. We never know what kind of mandatory rules they put on, Disney puts on, and Lucasfilm puts on Hot Toys, right? Because sometimes they'll even tell you must release X figure or X character, and everybody else is your choice, right? We don't know that, but they could definitely use it for marketing. In fact, we've seen Disney use Hot Toys, pictures of Hot Toys in official movie posters before. They did it for Rise of Skywalker. They did it for a Marvel movie. They used the Emperor, the Hot Toys Emperor. That was the picture of the Emperor in the Rise of Skywalker movie. It's been proven. So they definitely use it for marketing in different ways, not just in posters, but just put it out there. So yeah. And if they release a Fennec, I really want to make sure they include that robot stomach. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Dante?
Yeah, I think it is a possibility. I agree with Mike. That would be great if they can just drop those two figures together, Fennec and Boba Fett clean version. It could be a Toy Fair exclusive, by all means as well. Maybe they're waiting for the right time to do it. So, it is a possibility, and I think, and I agree with Mike on that one. I think it will be best to put them together. I don't know how well will Fennec do by herself, but I guess time will tell.
Listen, Mike, what do you think of this one? Screw the Mando stuff. Is it possible that Hot Toys will shock the internet and release an Ares, Michael, Desi, and Dante 4-pack? Drop the mic, baby. Well, what do you think about that? I don't know if I can handle looking at my own likeness in the Hot Toys form, dude.
Maybe I'll keep you three, not myself. I don't think I need a little mini me around. But that would be great, though. Seriously, that's a great comment. Thank you. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for your support, Emma Voodoo Child. I really appreciate the $5 Bob for sure. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, I think if they went ahead and did that, we'd have to display. We'd have to all get that. I mean, would that be a day one pre-order for you, Desi?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they'd have some difficulty. My licensing fees are very high, but if they can get around that, and I'm sure they can, that's fine. Definitely a dopo for me.
It will not only be an Eastern pre-order, but it will be multiples. It will be fine. Actually, that's a pretty good idea. Maybe we can just do like a figure for ourselves and just show it. I don't know. That's a pretty good idea.
Well, that's really great. Thank you so much for that support. Let's go ahead and move to the next figure. So, listen, guys. For me, the way that they've been dropping some of these troopers from The Mandalorian, and I really think, I think Quill is coming very, very soon. And I'm going to go to you first, Desi, with this. I have heard so many comments about people pushing for the armor. And you saw how well the heavy infantry Mandalorian is doing within the secondary market. And Hot Toys is seeing how the pre-orders really increased with that one before it went, on waitlist, before in stock. They're seeing it with IG, 11. Is it possible that this armor can do as good or better than the IG-11 and heavy infantry Mandalorian? And is this something, you're not even dealing with a head sculpt here, that they can really just drop now? What do you think?
Absolutely. First of all, it's a Mandalorian. And again, I always know Jango Fett doesn't appear to be doing that good, but as we mentioned earlier, I'm sure Jango Fett will take off later. This one, I've never heard anyone say, I don't want the armor, right? Yeah. Somebody always usually jumps in and says, I don't really want that one. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe now in the comments we'll see it, but I definitely want one. And why not? Yeah, absolutely.
Michael?
I mean, to be honest, I'm a little tired of Mandalorian figures, but this one, I would jump all over it. I mean, I have the little 3 3/4 vintage collection one, and it's awesome. So, I'm tired of Mandalorian himself, and I'm tired of the troopers. But this figure here, I'm surprised I haven't actually done it. Like I said, there's no head sculpt involved, so I'm surprised I haven't. She's a unique character. All the weapons that she come with, she's a female, so. Female figures do well; they sell well. So I'm surprised I haven't done it yet. And if they do, I think it's going to, go up there in the top with General Grievous, and I'll definitely pre-order it day one. Even though I'm a little tired of the Mandalorian releases, I definitely will, jump all of his figure. I agree. I would definitely, yeah.
Yeah, Dante, I agree with Mike and Desi. I think this is a no-brainer, actually. I think this has money written all over it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if Heavy Mando did it that well, and same as IG-11, this one is gonna knock it out of the park.
Mhm.
So I absolutely think that this will be a very smart move, if they decide to do it. I'm not sure when, but again, those first exclusives are, I think, around the corner, so might be a possibility as well. You know, so maybe they're waiting for that, for those predictions that that we were talking about before. So let's see what happens.
So before we go ahead and take a look at the last couple of figures we're going to go on this show, let us actually go back to Mike. And look what I got up on the screen, the logo for the action figure cave. So Mike, tell
There
us
it
a
is.
little bit what's going on and what's going to be coming up on the action figure cave. Listen, guys, if you don't know about Mike's channel, the action figure cave, it's absolutely awesome. He discusses a lot of Star Wars Hot Toys, but he also discusses a lot of other Star Wars as well. He really focuses on some great toy hunts with his family. But go ahead, Mike. What do you got going on?
Yeah, so it's all Star Wars action figures, but I'm actually moved, so that's why I have nothing behind me. So there's a little bit of shake up on the channel. Besides the move, I'm going to be doing some different unboxings, and I'm still doing toy hunts, but not as much because I live kind of farther away from the city. So, but definitely check the channel out. I'm going to be doing a little bit different things. Getting into Hot Toys more than I was before. And doing a little more unboxings of more like limited things like statues and everything. So that's coming. So check it out. Check out my old content. My kids are on there. We go on toy hunts. We had a lot of fun. So definitely, I love it. Love doing the channel. Just for fun. Yeah, it's great. It's just puts a smile on my face, and hopefully it does for you guys too. So I appreciate the call out areas. Really do. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Again, check out Mike from the Action Figure Cave, his channel. Again, it's in the video description below. Really awesome channel. So moving on over here, I'm bringing up, you're seeing here with Cody, and you're seeing all of these that have sold out and these prices. And Cody is continually rising. And, is it possible that Cody is moving away from the low $400 tier range and moving now closer $425 and upwards? Absolutely is. And we're going to be talking about that when I come out with the next Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show, for sure. But, bringing this up on the screen is none of us really thought that Cody was going to really go. I didn't think that Cody was going to go this high this quickly. But it goes to show you that how Cody and this type of character is really generating a lot of interest. And this was like 3 months, maybe a little bit longer. About 3 months in stock at Sideshow, Desi, this particular figure before it went ahead and is doing what it's doing now. And really, when you go look at this figure right here, Cody and Rex go hand in hand. And, eventually, and I didn't get an opportunity really yet to scan through everything on the Bad Batch. So absolutely no spoilers at all do we want on here. But, I would assume just from seeing Rex within the trailer that Cody is going to show up. Man, I really think that this figure is going to, once this hits waitlist, this is going to skyrocket to the 400s where Cody is and probably go beyond where Cody is Desi at a quicker rate. Like when Cody went on waitlist, he shot right up to $350 and it went to $400. I think when this hits waitlist, this is going to hit $400 right off the bat, and it's going to rise up to mid 400s. It's going to take Cody right along with it. So, I give this, I don't know what alert you give this. I give this a yellow alert for waitlist potential. And whenever you give something, and just so everybody knows, a yellow alert, red alert, is that a guarantee it's going to go on waitlist before it gets in stock? No, it's actually very, very rare. Very, very rare that a figure goes on waitlist before it gets in stock. Like the Mud Trooper, like the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. But the yellow and red alert simply means that there is a recipe, that there is a certain cold and hot front coming in with this figure that can mean that it's possible, there is a percentage chance that this doesn't hit stock before it gets, it hits waitlist before it gets in stock. And it also means if it does get in stock, it's not going to sit there very, very long. I don't see this at the end of the day giving it a yellow alert. It's sitting in stock for anywhere near as long as Cody, especially the way Cody's moving.
I would agree. I think I would agree with the yellow as well. This is more popular than Cody, right? Character. So, and I've been saying it for a while now. If you really want this, now is probably the time. That doesn't mean that it won't go in stock. I think it will, but I don't think it'll be in stock as long as Cody was. Again, he's just the most popular character. Even if they produce more of Rex than they did of Cody, which makes sense if they did, I just don't think it'll sit in stock that long. It was announced at the end of season 7, Clone Wars, and it's coming out, I guess with Bad Batch. I haven't seen last night's episode, so I don't know if he's in the show or not, or in last night's episode. So, but it's going to come out around the same time as his premiere on the Bad Batch, right? So, yellow alert. I agree.
Michael?
Yeah, I mean, just to answer one question from the comments. You told me definitely Hot Toys and Vintage Collection number 2. Those are my 2 favorite things I like to collect. Just wanted to mention that. Anyway, this figure, don't sleep on it. I know people are probably going to, listen, you see how the figures are going up. People are going to buy 2 of these, right? People are going to have one to keep closed, and people are going to get, one to display, obviously. I'm thinking about doing it. Right now I have one on pre-order, but I'm thinking about getting another one, and I don't usually do that. So, this figure character is popular. It's been all the Star Wars universe, right? It's been from Clone Wars to Rebels to, just Return of Jedi, right? So, definitely don't sleep on this figure. It probably will hit waitlist, in a few weeks, less than Cody. That definitely. I mean, they're probably making more than this figure than Cody, but I think it's going to go faster than Cody. It's, and the figure looks amazing. It's absolutely looks. I cannot wait to get it. So, definitely jump all of this figure. Don't wait, please. Don't do it.
Dante, I'm going to give you the last word on this particular Rex. I think, again, I give this an absolutely yellow alert. I really think that there's something stirring with this. You get the turbo, the supercharged baby, because it's, in the Bad Batch, and who knows what type of role he's going to have in there. Yellow alert, meaning, yes, there is a possibility that it can go on waitlist before getting in stock. But really what it means is it's not going to sit in stock for as long as Cody did, baby.
Yeah, and I think maybe more than yellow, I will say. The reason being is because just wait for the final product. Hot Toy surprises with Kylo Ren and Rey recently with the final product. Just imagine what they can do with this one.
Wow, they surprised us. Yeah, it's already coming with so much. It's so good.
Right, and you can see that, when you show this chart earlier, you see how those, Rey and Kylo have been moving up. So that means that if this figure comes out anytime soon, people are going to be jumping on it quicker than before. Right now, maybe they're just kind of waiting and sitting and doing other pre-orders. But as soon as this figure drops, and I mentioned this in your show before, Aries, I mentioned it in my show as well, I think this one has all the ingredients to be waitlisted before hitting stock. I don't know why I have that.
It has a formula. It has a formula for it, for
possible.
Sure. It's very possible.
Let's wait for the final product, and then we'll have a better picture, I think.
Well, we have 102. We've been between 100 and 110 this whole show. Please hit that like button, everybody, and really, really appreciate the support here on this Friday night. But, there is another stream that recently just started, and I'm a respectful individual, and I think it's the 6th Scale Economist that has his. So I'm going to go ahead out of respect, and I'm going to go ahead and end mine. And certainly he has a great channel. Been watching him for a long time. You guys may want to go over there once we end this and check his stuff out. Absolutely fantastic. But I hit what I wanted to tonight, hit an hour and a half, and we're just going up to 106. But like again, that's just the kind of guy I am. I like to go ahead and try and work with the community as much as possible. So definitely go ahead and check his stream out. But hit that like button. Hit that like button, baby. Go ahead and hit that. Hit that. I really appreciate that. Please subscribe to 6scalecantina.com. Please subscribe to Dante. Please subscribe to Mike from the Action Figure Cave, Dante from the Man of Hot Collectibles. You know where to find Desi's Metamorphic Custom stuff. And we're going to be here right back next week, but on the Man of Hot Collectibles stream at 9 p.m. Eastern. Right, Dante?
9 p.m. Eastern with you, Desi, Nate. I forgot to mention Nate before, so my apologies for that. Probably the Novi. We're gonna have for sure Fabio from Fast Figures, Sergio from Jedi Toys. If Michael is open, more than welcome. The more the better.
And I heard Will Foxification is live too. So go ahead and
Whoa.
check him out. Check out The Economist. Like both of those guys, really enjoy watching Will Foxification on Paradox Nerds channel as well in his live stream. But that is going. I'm going to be back, so I'll be on Dante's show next week, and then you'll see the next live market value chart show the week after, and we're going to be tag teaming this all summer. So this has been a great show, everybody. Remember, many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. Have a good weekend.
See you guys.
Peace. Have a good night, guys.